What's up, guys? Happy Friday. Let's get to making these live calls. This is a great place to learn. If you have any leads you want me to submit, if you're in the community, you don't have to go anywhere. You already have a form. You also have a direct line of communication with me. If you're watching from YouTube, head over to the raitoolbox.com, click leads for me to call live here, and I just call them. All right, and that's pretty much it. So let's get right into it. Let's not waste any time. The very first property we have that was submitted, let me take a look here. This one, sure, let me go over here. All right, cool. So this property is in Minnesota. It needs a full renovation, fixer-upper, needs a new roof. All right, cool. And it looks like this is listed for sale by owner. All right. All right, so on the listing, it says handyman special. The siding will need to be replaced. Water damage in the dining room ceiling before the roof was fixed. Hardwood floors under carpet in living room. All right, it's been on here for 2 days. There's 10 saves. Let's give them a call. Sounds like a wholesaler. Okay. Sounds like a wholesaler. You know, handyman special, as is, all that stuff. It's just the lingo here sounds like wholesaler, but let's see what happens. Remember, focus your time on speaking with sellers here. Let me pour my water. Focus your time on speaking with sellers. Nothing wrong with doing JVs, but try to focus on direct to seller. You have more power of the timeline, the negotiation, everything. All right, just like making offers to agents as well. Nothing wrong with that, but it's going to take a lot more offers to get an offer accepted, in my opinion. All right, let's pull the number up here, and let's dial. See what they say. And it looks like you didn't speak with them. Or you did. You did. Mr. Johnson.
Hello.
Hey, Mr. Johnson.
Yeah.
Hey, my name's Steven. I think you spoke with my partner, Bia, about your property over there on Highway 15. Are you still accepting offers for it?
Yeah.
Great. Did I catch it a good time?
Sure.
Okay, great. I just had a few questions about it. I see it's listed on Zillow. It says the siding needs to be replaced, water damage. Does the whole roof need to be replaced?
It will eventually. I mean, it's not leaking now. Here's the deal. There was a little dining room added on later on, and that was leaking 5 years ago, and I put a roof on it for my dad.
Mm-hmm.
That one's good. And the other roof is just getting older. It's like 20 years old. It was leaking when we realized I had to send a contractor down to do that, so I sent one of my subs that I had at the time come down and roof it up there and roof it.
Okay. Perfect.
None of the water damage is current. There's some sheetrock in the one. Well, the upstairs is plaster, and that could be replaced. Should be replaced.
Right.
But dining room, that's sheetrock, and that's damaged. Needed to be replaced. There was so much stuff in there, and we couldn't get it out. And my dad didn't want to move everything right at that time to move it, to do it.
Okay.
The house has not been updated. It's from the 70s.
Okay.
Electrical is updated. Septic is updated. Well is updated.
Got it.
I mean, he was living in there until late December, around Christmas.
Got it. So it's currently vacant. Nobody's in it right now.
Right.
Okay. What's got you interested in selling the property?
I don't live there, and my dad passed, and
Okay. And then what kind of time frame, more or less, were you hoping to sell it?
I mean, we'd like to sell it, but I'm not rushed. But yeah,
Mhm. Okay. Let me take a look here. So the way I come up with my offers is I collect information, bedroom, bathroom, square footage, year built condition, and then I want to see what's sold in the area in the last 3 to 6 months.
good
Um,
luck.
yeah, there's not much. There's not much going
Oh,
on here. I see it maybe at one or two properties, but it's definitely a small town.
yep,
Um, yeah, it's tough. This property is a 3 bedroom, 1 bath, right?
yes.
Okay, built in 1900.
Little, yeah.
Okay. Huh. All right. Yeah, if we were to make an offer on this, I think realistically, if it needs that amount of work, I'm thinking anywhere between 50 to 60 is where I need to be at cash. We'd cover the closing costs and all that stuff. And
Nope.
you're stuck at the 85.
Yep.
Okay.
I've got people I'm in negotiations with right now
Mm-hmm.
at 80 to 85,000. So
Oh, that's good. You haven't accepted those
yeah.
offers yet?
No, we're still talking. It's one of them is looking for the funds, and the other one, it's just yeah.
Okay.
Because it's not going to pass conventional financing. That I know.
Right.
If they send out an inspector, the inspector can say, "Oh, this has got to be done. That's got to be done first," and we're not doing that. If I do that, it's going to be a hell of a lot more because I've got an appraisal that came in at 360,000 once it's finished.
Three.
Put new windows and yeah,
Wow. How old is that appraisal?
January, February.
Oh, of this year? It's not bad.
Yes.
They think that's what it's worth fully renovated?
Yep.
What did they think about what it's worth in its current condition?
We were told 105.
Oh wow. Okay. All right. So what's your
Tax appraisal is 116,000.
yeah. What's your deciding factor between accepting that 80 to 85 or not?
Just waiting for the money.
You're waiting for the money, or are you gonna be signing a contract today, you think, at that 85?
Not yet. I mean, I'm waiting for them to make sure they got the financing and the money.
Oh, okay. So they haven't provided any kind of like proof of funds or anything. It's contingent upon
No.
financing.
Right.
Oh, okay. Well, we can pay cash, and we actually have the
I
ability to
mean,
close on it. But you know,
we're on our way up there now, and and I tell you right now, I had somebody else that said they were going to do that, and he came back, and what we found out he was trying to do was he was trying to sell the contract.
yeah, that's very common.
And I will say in a purchase agreement that will be in there that I am not allowing that.
Gotcha. So you're just looking for the end buyer, get it closed, and that's done and over with.
Yep.
And
Yep.
that's the type of buyer that's making that offer at 80, 85.
Yep.
Okay, that's good. All right. So here's what I'll do. I'll check in with you. When's a good time you think I could check back in with you to see how that goes? Because I don't want to make you an offer I know that's unrealistic. I don't know.
Next week.
Next week.
I
Okay.
won't accept. I won't accept any less than. I'll be honest with you. I won't accept any less than 80,000. If that's where you got to be, then it doesn't even pay to.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. No problem. No problem.
All
I
right.
completely understand. Well, we'll keep in touch. Thank you.
Yep.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right. So somebody offered him 80, 85. There's a couple things that if you're looking for Zillow by owner leads that you should be aware of. Number one, you want to make sure that these properties are in a metro city where there's a large population, or at least 30 minutes of an area where there's a large population. This is literally in the middle of nowhere. And there's only one comp, if any. There's one comp, and it sold for 75. Okay. Let me see. This is a 3-1. 1,900 square feet. Okay. It does, obviously it needs work. This is the property here. I mean, he only has a couple photos on here. But yeah, there's no way, 85 it's just not going to work. And he's not motivated to sell. But here's the thing. If you're looking for leads, free leads, and you're calling Zillow for sale by owner, try to focus on areas that have a large population or they're at least 30 minutes. This is, I don't even know. This is like, what's the closest city to this, actually? While I'm here, I just want to take a look and see what's going on in the area. Because, yeah, this is, I mean, you got Minneapolis, which is probably a couple hours away. But I if I were you, I'd focus on, 30 minutes or less. And also what you can do is look how many people are, look at the population. Okay, so this is Kimball. All right, let me see here. I'm just curious. Kimball population. 2,192 people. So even if we got this under contract, out of those 2,000 people, who's an investor that's going to buy? I don't see any flips in this area. I see one cash comp that sold for 75. Let me click on details and just find out if this was an investor. Okay. Oh, okay. Clean Cut Property Manage LLC. Okay, so this was an investor. They bought this for 75, and this property, it looks like it's in much better shape. Take a look at this. Okay, here's the comp. I mean, this is it looks like it's in good shape, better shape than the other one. Okay. But anyways, try to focus on those that they're in good areas, because even if we got this under contract and there's only one cash buyer, and I'm going back 12 months. I usually like to stick between 3 to 6 months. I'm going back 12 months. I see one comp. You're putting all your eggs in one basket. And if this guy only buys once a year, once a quarter, I mean, you're wasting your time. It's always better to get no contract than a bad deal. Just keep that in mind. All right, let's go to the next one. The next one, who do we have here? Let's see. This one's in Texas, Needville, Texas. The seller's name is Unk. All right. Day Road. He's looking to sell because he wants to be closer to family. He's asking $475. Let's pull this up. Let's talk to Unk and see what's going on here. So this is active on the MLS. Okay. Let's see here. What is this? A lot? Oh, this property looks like a manufactured home. Okay. It's a manufactured home. There are buyers for manufactured homes. All right. So there is a market for it, but a lot of these, depending what state it's on, the insurance and all this other stuff, especially in Florida, at least with all the hurricanes we got smacked by, I think if it's before 1970 something, I don't really focus on manufactured homes. Looks like they're asking $475. All right, you got some land here. Let me look at this listing. I mean, this property looks in good shape. Nestled on nearly 4 acres of serene and private land in the charming town of Needville, Texas. This 2023. Okay, that's good. Built mobile home offers modern living, tranquility of the countryside, blah, 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 blah. You have 3 saves in 3 months. That is horrible. Okay. Not only do you guys want to focus on the areas where there's a lot of activity or it's in a metro city, but pay attention to the days on market. All right. Let me just kind of show you what I'm looking at here, because I want to make sure that you're looking for the right opportunity. And if you're looking at properties on Zillow and you see this right here, 93 days, that's 3 months, and you only have 3 people that save the property. So, that shows you what kind of demand there is for it or how much interest is on the property. All right. Anyways, this property looks good. I mean, it's built 2023. It's basically, brand new. I don't know why they want to sell. Okay. I don't know why they want to sell. So that's the main thing I want to do is I always want to talk to people first. Now, there's one exception here. And this is just something I do. If you have a property that's listed on the MLS, because I'm a big thing is like I don't run comps until I speak with the owner, because if the owner doesn't pick up, okay, I've just wasted my time talking to somebody, okay, without right. I've wasted my time running comps with somebody I haven't even spoke to. If the property is listed on the MLS, I like to run some brief comps, but remember that agent isn't the decision maker. They're there to collect the offers, present it to the homeowner. So, I mean, I'm just going to go ahead and give them a call because this property is fully renovated. Let me just pull up the, I'm just going to pull up the address here on PropStream. All right. Needville, Texas. Now, Texas is a non-disclosure state. This property is in the middle of nowhere as well. Yeah, I wouldn't go after these guys. Yeah. Well, hold on a second. It says 2023, but then on here it says looks like it's a failed listing. A previous agent tried selling this for $475, then somebody else came along. They have it relisted, but I mean, this is like a different. Oh no, it's the same. All right, let's just give him a call. All right, I don't see. Is the agent's name Unk or is the homeowner's name Unk? Let me see. No, I don't know. Let's just give him a call. All right. Let's see here. Phone number. Dun 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 dun. Okay. I mean, it looks good. I mean, this backyard needs a little landscaping. Hello.
Hello.
Hey, I saw your listing on Zillow for the property on Day Road. Are you still accepting offers for it?
I think you have the wrong number. This is Anna.
Oh, Anna. Hold on. I'm calling your lead. My bad. Hold on a second. Oh, yeah. I called you by mistake. Sorry, Anna. I'm calling your lead, though.
Yeah, no. I don't think I have a phone number, and I meant to give a little explanation. This is one of my in-house, I guess, referrals. So the realtor was asking if I could help move that property. So I thought I'd run it by you and see what the numbers were on that.
Okay, so you didn't want me to call the person. You just were asking for feedback on it?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes,
Got it.
sir.
All right, because you're on the deal desk right now, by the way. I'm just calling these leads here.
Oh,
Yeah. I think this
Friday,
one,
isn't it? My goodness.
I see it's listed for 3 months and there's only 3 saved. So I think it's going to be tough to sell.
Yeah, they're having problems selling. That's why they asked.
Yeah. No, they're going to have to drop the price. I see the estimated value is around 460. I think they might sell it somewhere around that. The house is basically brand new, so I think they just need to drop their listing price to that. But a cash offer, I mean, we would have to. It may not even make sense. We'd have to probably be around 325 is what I'm seeing here.
You said the house is brand new. I'm actually wondering if you have the right thing up because there's a trailer on this property. There's approximately 4 acres. You sure?
Yeah, it says in the description, this 2023 built mobile home. Is that wrong?
No, that's correct.
Okay. Yeah, so it's new, but for a cash offer based on the comps, we probably have to around 300 to 325. If they were to list it, I think if they listed it closer to 450, it should get a little bit more traction.
So possibly three in the mid, you said about 345?
3 to 325.
325,
I
I'm
think we could
sorry.
sell this to a landlord.
Okay,
But they could get probably around 450 on the market.
if they lower the price.
Yeah, they gotta lower the price.
Okay. All right, gotcha. I appreciate
All right.
that.
You're welcome. We'll talk soon.
All right.
Bye.
Okay, bye.
All right. So this isn't one that I'm gonna call, but all right, cool. So let's go to the next one. This one is, I think, Irving Street. Let me see here. All right, so Irving Street. Let me close some of these tabs. San Angelo, Texas. I think I spoke with this person. Let me just make sure. Complete owner, real estate, full rehab, 78. So this one is also, it's a FISBO. But I mean, it just needs a full renovation. All right. So here's the property. Okay. Yeah, this thing needs everything. How long has this been on the market for? 154 days on the market. Only 23 saves. Property sold as is. No assignment contracts. Zone neighborhood commercial. House needs a total rehab. 3-year-old red building can be used as a business location with a lot of daily traffic. House can be expanded to a 3rd bedroom. We'll use a local title company for the sale. Okay, now if somebody does not want the transaction to be assignable, all you have to do is double close. Is the deal big enough where it makes sense to double close? Is it worth your time? Right? These are all things you got to take into consideration when you're looking at this stuff, because it's really easy to waste a lot of time with the wrong leads. Remember, just because this person wants to sell doesn't qualify them as a motivated seller. Okay? That's one thing that's really important, because when especially when you're starting out, you'll try to make every lead you speak to like a deal, and you just have to focus the right amount of time on the right people. If they're not motivated to sell, they're stuck on a price, which it seems like this is one of them. You just got to move on to the next lead. Okay, it just doesn't make sense to, try to keep making a deal out of somebody that's not a deal. It's super easy to waste a lot of time when you're doing that, and that's why you got to have a full pipeline and just keep it going. All right, yeah, but this one actually does look very familiar. It is looks like it's in a rural area. Okay, it's got the red shed in the back. All right, let's just give him a call anyway. Oh, did not state why they wanted to sell. Okay, short conversation. He was busy. He was friendly. I stated that I will call him back with additional questions. The owner is a real estate agent. He stated that he will not take assignments, no low ball offers. He is firm at $69,000. After asking what is the best he could do, he thinks the value as is $69,000. Cash buyer bought similar property for $54,000 in March 5th of this year. Okay, so we know he's not motivated. He's firm at the $69,000. If you see cash comp selling for 54, then we know that we can't do the $69,000. Okay, let me just take a look at these comps. Let me just pull this up here real quick. But I mean, he has this listed for 78. I don't expect this conversation to go anywhere, but who knows? Let me go ahead and just call them anyway. All right. Remember, they don't want assignable contracts, and that's fine. All you have to do is just double close on it. Okay, so don't be afraid if somebody says no assignments or no low ball offers. I don't want to promise. Like, I want to tell people I don't know what my offer is going to be. If I feel like it's going to be a low ball offer, I'll let you know up front so I don't waste your time or my time, because we're an investment company. We have to get at a good price. You know, all that stuff.
Hello?
Hey, Mr. Green.
Yes.
Hey, my name's Steven. I saw your listing on Zillow. Are you still accepting offers for that property on Irving Street?
Which one? Irving? Sure.
Yeah. Is this, I mean, I see the plenty of photos here. It's needs a full renovation. How old is that roof?
Oh, it needs to be replaced.
Okay, needs a new roof. Electric plumbing as well.
Upgraded.
Oh, it's been upgraded?
It needs to be upgraded. There's
Oh, okay.
just a little bit of plumbing left to do, and the electrical needs needs to change out the electric box on the outside. It's got an old one in place now.
Okay. Is that shed? Hold on a second. Is that shed vacant, or is it being used at all? Or
It's vacant. It's we built it to maybe make a little burrito stand or snow cone stand, because the property is zoned neighborhood commercial, which allows for a commercial part. It's residential and commercial, basically.
oh, okay. Are you flexible on that price?
I'm just very interested in selling it to someone, and I will be happy to look at offers. So yes, the answer is yes.
Okay. Because I think I'd probably, just based off the square footage and the amount of work it needs, I'd probably be between I don't know, 35, 45, somewhere around there.
All right. Well, good luck on your next call.
Yeah. What do you think would be the best price you can do? Just so I don't waste your time.
Listen. Well, are you a buyer or are you an assigner?
Oh, we're buyers. You get a lot of calls,
Yeah.
assigners?
I get them all day, every day.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we do.
58 if you want to pay cash.
Oh, I can't do 58. I don't know.
All right, I got to go. Bye-bye.
That's why he hasn't sold the property yet. I told you it wasn't going to go anywhere, but he's got to go. So this thing's been on the market for, a very, very long time, and it's not going anywhere. So I'm assuming he's trying to sell at that price because it's so neighborhood commercial, but the area just doesn't, there's nothing going on in this area. It's not the biggest town, but it's not the smallest town either. I see two comps. Actually, these aren't even comps because these properties were built in 2022. Okay. A property that was built in 2022 sold for $106,000 and it took 50 days to sell. Okay. He wants a little bit less than that. I don't see the value in this. Maybe he can make more by selling the snow cones or whatever he wants to do, but that's how it is sometimes. All right, next one. Next one. And if you guys get information from people and they're very firm on a price and you didn't have a good experience with them, I'm not going to call them back and tell them I'm associated with you. I want to call them back and I already have a crystal ball and I know where I got to be at, and I know where I have to be. Right? So sometimes I'll under offer and it'll make your offer look better, but if they are firm at 59, it's just going to sit there and he's not motivated. All right, let's go to the next one. Let me check this one off. The next one is in Jackson, Tennessee. All right. Jackson, Tennessee. Tennessee is a great market. I think there's high demand there. The properties, if they're priced correctly. Hold on a second. I spoke with these people. These people actually, this came from the community. Who submitted this? I think two people sent me this. All right. Yeah, it's funny. So that does happen. You know, if two people send me the same address, I have to go by who submitted it first. This one already got submitted to me, and that was actually an accepted offer that they have to follow up because the husband has to review the agreement. They actually reviewed the agreement, but they have to get on the same page. They're redlining things, so I'm gonna skip this one. Darla, you submitted this one in Terrace Place. I'm going to have to skip that one. All right, let's move on to Springfield, Tennessee. What do we have in Springfield, Tennessee? Okay. I think this one got resubmitted maybe because they didn't answer the first call. All right, this one does look familiar here. Complete rehab needed. Complete rehab including some foundation is 150. There's a tax lien. She just wants to walk away from it, and that is what a family member told me that is handling the sale of the property. There is a property tax lien for $40,000. I have talked to Rick, the family member taking care of the sale. Okay, whoops, I lost my place here. All right. I remember this one. They want nothing to do with the property, difficult to get clear title. The title company is Nationwide Company. This one, somebody else actually sent me this. I know exactly which one this is. That's why these look familiar. This guy isn't even the decision maker. A lot of the stuff has to go through the family member. Now, remember, when you're speaking with somebody that's assisting with the sale of the property, they're not the main decision maker. So you want to give them some general information, give them a good offer range, but never give like, hey, this is my exact offer and terms and conditions, because they're not the ones that are making the decision. Follow up with them. But with people that aren't the decision makers, what I try to do is try to get them on a three-way call with the decision maker if they're, if they're available. Otherwise, you might be wasting your time. And this one's they've been trying to sell this one for a while too, I think. Yeah, 52 saves, or 52 days on Zillow. Okay. It does have some views, but there has been no change. 150 is too high. Yeah, it's way too high. It just says 10K square foot lot. All right, let's go to this one in San Antonio, Texas. On let's see, what is this? Malley, West Malley. I think you may have put the incorrect property address because nothing's coming up with that. Let me just double check. I think you're missing West Malley. Let me just make sure. San Antonio, Texas. Oh, no, I found it. I guess it was a typo. Okay. Oh, this property needs everything. That's what we like. All right, cool. So let me pull this up. This is it says pending. Pending doesn't mean closed. So you always want to see if they're still collecting, offers. And, if it's pending, I really want to find out what is the closing date on it. That's what's most important. Okay. It's got a lot of photos. They're asking $100,000 for this. All right. It's a 3-2-1180. This is a great investment opportunity. Home for a potential flip or remodel, oversized backyard with mature trees that just need a little grooming. It's only been on here for 6 days, and there's 24 saves, and it's already pending. So if anything goes pending that quick, they got full asking or above full asking. Okay, that's something that you want to take note of. If a property goes pending, how many days on the market was? Right? Because maybe somebody locked this up, but what if they can't sell it? What if they don't close? Oh man, this thing needs everything. All right, let's give them a call. Let's see. Mr. Mayorga is the seller. Looks like this is actually he's an age, not the owner. We're gonna give him a call anyway and just find out when is expected to close. If it sold that quick, or if it went pending that quick, they probably got what they were asking for it.
Hello?
Hey, Mr. Mayorga.
Who's this?
My name's Steven. I saw your listing on West Malley. Are you guys still accepting offers for this?
Yeah, if you want to send a backup offer, I've got an offer on it right now, but we need to make sure it goes through.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, if you want to submit a backup offer, that'd be great.
When is it? When are they expecting to close on the property?
I believe next week.
Oh, next week. Okay, perfect. All right. What is your best email? All right, great.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye. So the person that it's under contract with, it's closing next week. All right. Now they are accepting backup offers. Sent his email just in case it doesn't close. All right. I'm just looking at these comps real quick. Man, yeah, 100,000. Hold on a second. Yeah, this is a good deal. At 100,000, I see a comp on the other side of the street that sold for $239,000. And yeah, this is a really good comp. So yeah, I mean, they got a 50%, less than 50% of the ARV. That's always good. It's always a good rule of thumb if you get a property less than 50% or less than the ARV. And I mean, this isn't a teardown. It does need work, but it needs a lot of work. But if the ARV is 239 and somebody got this at 100,000, this is a deal easily. So I expect it to close, but you definitely still want to follow up. Okay. All right. What questions do we have? You guys have drop any questions you may have? What's up, Mohammed? Do you suggest that we comp properties before we call? I do not suggest you do that. I may have accidentally answered your question, but before I saw that, but I don't like making comps before I speak with somebody, because if especially when you're new, it could take you 15 minutes max or minimum to run comps. And if you're running comps, you know your numbers, right? But then you call, what if they don't answer? You've just wasted valuable time. So I always like speaking with them first, gathering information, and then running comps. Okay, so I would encourage you to run comps while or after you speak with them. And remember, if you guys are new, don't feel pressure to run comps while you're on the phone with them. Gather all the basic information, the information you can see and the information you can't see. So, collect the bedroom, bathroom, square footage, year built, condition, and really you find out more about somebody when you get the reason they want to sell and the time frame they want to sell. That's what's really going to tell you how motivated somebody is. Okay, I see some questions here in the private chat in the community. Using PropStream, hold on a second. Let's see. I lost it. Let me go back here. Using PropStream, what is the best way to determine a good investor market? Great question. So if you're using PropStream, I'd like to take a look and see where all the cash buyers are, all right, in what specific zip codes. The flips and the cash comps will tell me what areas or if a market's good, right? Because right now, some markets are a little shaky where there's a high inventory, prices are going down, properties are sitting in the market like Florida, Texas. Those markets a little shaky right now. But other than that, I mean, a deal is a deal if you get at a good price. But when you're trying to figure out what market you should be in, your backyard may not always be the best market. Find out how much activity has been going on in the last, 30, 60, 90 days, 12 months. Do all properties needs to have full renovations? I'm not understanding that question. Yeah, I don't understand that question. If you could rephrase that, please. I have one this I spoke with her twice today. Awesome. No problem. Thank you for sharing your knowledge. No problem. What do you think about Privy? I can't speak on Privy. I haven't used them. I've heard about them, but I haven't used them, so I can't speak on something I haven't used. Okay. What are the best lists to call and get better results from? That's a great question. So this is probably one of the most common questions. You know, I like diversifying lists. If that's my strategy, is finding a market, pulling a list. You know, pre-foreclosures obviously is good. Tax liens, tired landlords. People ask me that. It's funny because you're never the only one pulling that list. There's a whole bunch of other people like you pulling that list. The real secret is who's on the other side of the phone, on the acquisition side, right? So when you're talking to sellers, how good are you on your acquisitions? Because you'll never be the only person speaking with that person or that seller. You may be the first one, but there's always going to be people pulling the same list. So how good is your follow-up? Okay. And how good is your acquisitions process? All right. I have a 5-step acquisitions process. If you're in the community, you know about it. But when it comes to pulling lists, the real secret sauce is how good you are in the acquisitions. But, you know, all the generic lists, everybody pulls the same thing. You know, probate's also a great list, but it has to go through probate, right? Pre-probate is a good list, but it has to go through the probate process. Pre-foreclosure is good. Tax liens, like anything that would make somebody more motivated to sell at a discount. All right. People that don't want to list their property for sale and it could sit 30, 60, 90 days. Okay. Where do you find homes for sale by owner? Zillow, Redfin, Realtor.com. Sometimes you'll drive around town. They'll have a for sale by owner sign, but Zillow is probably the most popular place to find FSBOs. Okay. Where do you get those lists from? So on PropStream, you could actually find lists, right? So let me show you an example here. If you're trying to pull lists. All right. So this right here, okay, I can go to filter, and then all the lists are right here. All right, there's a bunch of ways to get lists. Maybe I should do a video on this, but auctions, bank owned, failed listings, flippers, all this stuff. These are all lists. At least on PropStream, you have this quick filter select option, and it just makes it easier, right? So like if I'm marketing Tampa, let's say I want to go after tax delinquency. All right, look how many properties. There's 17,420 properties here. And then I can save this, add to list, export it, skip trace it, and call it. Okay. So PropStream is a popular place to find lists. So yeah, hopefully that answers that question. Private chat. Okay. When I pull absentee owners for seller locations, I'm finding many locations have already sold. How do I get the active ones? So I would double check and see where you're getting that data from. Okay. Because it's not going to be absentee, forever. I usually like going back, 30, 60, 90 days, but not all public data is going to be super accurate, but it also relies on heavily on where you're getting the data from. I haven't really found any problems with PropStream when I'm pulling data. All right. But right now, 90% of our marketing is inbound, not outbound. It's taking a lot of time to skip trace. I need immediate numbers. Can you give guidance on getting the phone numbers quicker? So that's a great question. So it depends how many numbers you're trying to skip trace. If you guys are trying to skip trace like one-off numbers, like if you're driving around town, you see a distressed property and you just want to skip trace that number, websites like True People Search will get the job done. If you're looking to start a cold calling campaign, you want to skip trace in bulk. and there's a lot of vendors out there that do that. But a good vendor will provide between 5 to 10 phone numbers per lead. Okay. Now, when you're skip tracing, it's not always going to be correct names or, numbers. You're going to get a lot of wrong numbers, obviously a lot of angry people as well. So it's never going to be perfect, but a good vendor will provide 5 to 10 phone numbers per record. If you're doing it in bulk, which you can do all this in PropStream, by the way, but if you're skip tracing in bulk, it's going to be cheaper. If you're using a software or a vendor to skip trace individually, it's going to be much higher, usually between 12 to 15 cents. If you're doing it bulk, I mean, I've seen services at as low as 3 to 5 cents. Or if you need one-off skip tracing, I mean, TruePeopleSearch.com will get the job done. Okay. Hey, Steven, I put a deal for you to call the community. Would you be able to see it there right now in the community? All right. If you submitted it on the list, I'll see it on the list. All right. Let's keep calling. Let's go to the next one. All right. Let's see. The next one, we called this one. This one is also in Hidden Falls or San Antonio. This one's on Hidden Falls. All right, cool. I have a few more leads here. I always go by who submitted the lead first. I don't go to who submitted it last. I go to who submitted it first, and then I go down the list. All right. So this one's in San Antonio, Texas. Let me pull this one up. This one is also on the MLS. Remember this, guys. When you're making offers on the MLS, you're going to have to make more offers. All right. I always aim for 5 offers a day when I'm speaking with homeowners. But if you're targeting properties that are listed, you got to make a lot more offers. It still works. All right. You have to jump through a few hoops, a few more people to talk to. There's still deals to be made, but just be prepared to make a lot more offers. It's not the same than if you were just going to talk to somebody. Let's see. All right. So this property here, fair condition. The bathroom needs updating and the kitchen is not bad, but it's strange looking. Seller does not want to do any renovations or renting. All right. This property could be rental as is because it's not as bad, because it is not in bad condition. It's just unattractive. Okay. Yeah. I mean, let's take a look. It's not that bad. I was expecting like super pink cabinets or something. That's not too bad. Am I looking at the right property? Yeah, I'm looking. I mean, everybody has their own taste. Anyway, 16 days, 11 saves. Welcome to this beautifully main. Let me just skip all this. Let me just call them. Let's go. So, agents will try to. Their job is to sell the property, so they're going to make it sound like it's a beautiful everything. Seller does not want to do any renovations. Mr. Perry, this is the listing agent. So we're going to call them, gather a little bit more information. Remember, you don't want to make people repeat themselves. If the property is listed on Zillow, even if you're talking to agent or the owner, you don't want to make people repeat themselves. It'll start the conversation on a bad foot.
Please leave your message for 2104.
Call the agent back. This is why I don't run comps before I call. Imagine if we spent 15 minutes on comps. Well, for me, it's a lot faster because I've been doing it thousands and thousands of times. But when you're new, it takes a long time to run comps. And they may not even answer the phone.
Please leave your message for 21.
All right, no answer. Let's go to the next one. Keep those questions coming. I will get to all the questions. All right. Man, somebody dumped their whole CRM in here. We got a whole bunch of San Antonio stuff. The next one's in San Antonio. Then after that, we're going to Arizona, back to San Antonio. Then we're going to Palestine, Texas. Then Palm City, Florida. All right. We have Rosillo Street in San Antonio. All right. This one. Okay. This is interesting. You always learn something new or come across all kinds of different property scenarios and people in this business. Real estate is the people's business, and your job is to come up with a solution. If you're an investor or wholesaler, if you're wholesaling, if you're an assigner, like that one guy said, you have to bring solutions to the problems. That is the biggest thing. All right, so let's take a look at this one. This is on South Rosillo. Okay. All right, cool. So here's the property. Okay. What information do you have on this? Complete rehab needed. This house needs everything. I don't think it needs to be a teardown, but it needs more than just TLC. The property needs more work than the seller can handle, and they do not want to rent the house. All right, cool. This is good. So let's take a look. How many days? 94 days, 22 saves is not good. This property is 3 units total with potential to renovate and rent. Zone C3, great investment opportunity, handyman special. Okay. So it's a triplex. An overpriced triplex. Okay. And it looks like it needs a lot of work, obviously. All right, let's call is this a for sale by owner? No, it's with an agent. What number's here? I'm just going to call whatever number is on here. Okay, Mary Krabby is the agent, so we're going to give her a call. Yeah, it looks rough.
This is Marie.
Hey, Miss Krabby, my name's Steven. I saw you had a listing on South Rosillo Street. Are you still accepting offers for that?
Yes.
Okay, I had a few questions about it. I see plenty of photos here. Did I catch it at a good time?
Not really, but I can answer questions.
Okay. So this is a triplex. Is this completely vacant at the moment?
I'm not sure if it's vacant. They might have somebody staying there.
Okay. They're not paying any rent, are they? You know if the owner's collecting any rent?
I'm not sure.
Okay, no problem. Would you happen to know the age of the roof?
I don't, but I can email you a seller's disclosure.
What's that?
I said I don't, but I can email you the seller's disclosure if that's helpful. And
Sure.
that probably would answer a lot of your questions, come to think of it.
Okay, I will text you my email then.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. You're going to sell property and not know anything about it. That's okay. I mean, it's not okay for her. Yeah, anyways, let's go to the next lead. Well, that's why it's been sitting there too. It's been here for over 3 months and there's not much of a description here. I mean, the thing, yeah. And, we caught her at a bad time. She tried to give me a little bit of information, but not really somebody that is trying to really sell the property. All right. What other questions we have here? Let's see. What if the decision maker refuses to get on the phone and wants their family to handle? Do you go ahead and give the offer to the family member in that case? Yes. If the decision maker is solely relying on the person to make all the decisions and then just present it, I mean, you don't really have a choice. Then you just make the offer to the person. Some people, they're like, the reason I try to push for the decision makers is because non-decision makers will usually have an influence on accept the price or not. Is it good or is it not? Right. So I don't even know. I spoke with people that they say they're family members and they're not even related. So you do have to be careful with that, but try to push to get them all on the phone. If not, trust, but verify. Hey, Steven, I submitted one in Hyattsville, Maryland that I would like to JV on. Awesome. Okay. I'll be on the lookout for that. You can shoot me a message because I didn't see one in Hyattsville there. I never see buy owner on PropStream. So PropStream is not a for sale by owner platform. It's more for comping and lists. It does have MLS access, but for sale by owner, homeowners don't make a PropStream account and list it for sale by owner. And PropStream doesn't scrape that kind of information, at least last time I checked. All right. So Zillow is probably your best friend if you're trying to target for sale by owner. What do you consider an offer? A contract sent or verbal? For me, it's verbal. That's what an offer is. If you are dealing with an agent, depending on the price it's at and depending on how many calls they're getting, a lot of them want a written formal offer. So you write something on a PDF, you email it to them, or you send them an email, because some of them have a specific deadline that, we're collecting offers up until this day. So for homeowners, I always just give verbal offers. Agents, I give verbal offers to unless they request a written offer. I'm selling my house in Alaska, Great Mountain Views and 5 acres, large heated shop. Nice. Do you want me to message you? Yeah, Robin, you can go ahead and message me. All right, let's go to, hold on a second. The private chat had a few questions. Do you have, it's taking a lot of answer. Do you have a discount / promo code for PropStream? So yes, I do have a link that'll give you a 7-day trial. All right, if you go to the reitoolbox.com, all right, and then you go over here, all right, you click favorite tool to run comp 7-day free trial. Use this link, you get 7 days of this for free. Okay. So I love PropStream. I've been using it for a very long time. So if you go to the RI Toolbox, it'll take you to my link tree with everything I have, everything I use. There's JV deals there as well. Favorite tool run comps. So yeah, so PropStream is what I recommend. I'll only recommend stuff that I use and have a good experience with. I'll never recommend something that I use and have a bad experience. Otherwise, it'll, what's the purpose? All right, but that's a 7-day free trial. And occasionally, I might start doing this more. I will actually give free PropStream accounts for 30 days. I've done them for 12 months. And it doesn't matter if you already have PropStream or not. Sometimes I'll have contests and giveaways in the community. I know I usually have an annual one when it's getting closer to Christmas time and the holidays. I'll pick somebody, 1 or 2 winners, and they'll get a full year of free PropStream. Or lately, I've been doing 3 to 6 months for free as well. So be on the lookout for that. All right. But you have to make sure you're subscribed to my YouTube channel. That's one of the contingencies. Okay. All right. Let's see. I'm interested in doing a JV with you, Steven. Should I contact you in Real Visors? Yeah, if you are in the Real Visors community, you can shoot me a message and I'll take a look at the deals and you can JV with us at Real Visors. If you're not in the Real Visors community, just shoot me a message. You might be in the other community. You already know the drill. But yeah, you could just shoot me a message. All right. There was a few other questions here in the private chat. Texas seems to be a non-disclosure state, which it is. How do you get around determining what LLC cash comps paid for the property when it's not publicly available on PropStream? If I'm not clear, I'm mute. No, that's very clear. So in non-disclosure states, you have to go by MLS data. PropStream does pull MLS data, and it'll also give you an estimated price range for properties that sold. Another thing I like to do is look at active and pending properties. The pending properties specifically, how quickly did they go pending, and what was the listing price? Okay, but and PropStream does do that. Okay, you could use Zillow, but Zillow's like, you don't really want to get used to that for running comps. You need tools for PropStream. When you're starting out, it's either you pay with money or time. All right, if you're trying to do the freeway for everything, you can get a deal done, but it's going to take a lot longer. All right. I tried doing the freeway when I first started. It took me 8 months to get my first deal. Okay. And then when I got a coach, a mentor, and the right tools and resources, it took me 2 weeks to get 2 deals. And then this month we have almost like 15 deals. There's no way I could do that if I didn't have the right people around me, a good team, and I need tools and resources. All right, PropStream is one of those things, especially non-disclosure states. Good morning. Have you had a chance to contact the lead? So let me just clarify a little bit more on what a joint venture is, right? A joint venture is like you either bring a seller or contract, and then we help you sell it, okay? Yes, you can send me addresses for the deal desk, and I'll call them. But if you guys send me like, hey, here's 10 leads, can you call them, follow up, nurture, close, TC, and dispo, right? That's not really a JV. I don't want you to get in the habit of just sending me an address and expecting us to do everything, and then we have to, split it. It doesn't really work that way. But this is why I do this, because some of you guys have leads. It doesn't matter what spot you're in of the process. Maybe it's somebody you haven't even spoken to, right? I prefer you speak with them. But this is why I do the deal desk. And then in the community, I do a daily deal desk Monday through Friday. Monday through Friday, you have me in the community. Okay. Are there any free trials or discounts when you first sign up for the community? No, there are no free trials or discounts for the community. Okay. And, you guys could also hit me up on Instagram. If you don't have to be in the community to JV with me. The first thing I'll do is myself or my team will underwrite the deal, make sure it's actual deal, because if you send me something and the numbers just don't make sense, I don't want you to waste your time, and I don't want to waste my time either. Kind of like that guy that was stuck at that $59,000 and he hasn't sold his property for 3 months. Okay. Let's see. Let me call a few more. Okay, this one's in Arizona. It's not San Antonio. Okay. We finally got one that's not in Texas. Let's go to the next one. Let me close all these tabs. All right, so this is Park Avenue. Let me go to Arizona, because the full address isn't coming up here. Is this Bisbee, Arizona? Bisbee, Arizona. Okay, yeah, this is it. Bisbee, Arizona. Let's go over here. This is for sale by owner. I love for sale by owner. Thank you, Tanya. Yeah, please like, share, and subscribe. If you guys are getting any value out of this, you're enjoying this, click that like and subscribe button if you're on YouTube. All right, cool. So let's take a look at this. Bisbee, when asked for more inside pictures, he said, I did not do research of the property and hung up. Yes. Well, yeah, I mean, if this is listed on Zillow, it does have inside pictures. People will always get mad. Wait, hold on. This is strange. It shows, these are like screenshots. It's like a picture of a picture. And I can see if you look closely, like, look at this. See where it says picture 9 out of 10. And then you look a little bit behind, it says 23 out of 23. Anyways, sellers hate repeating themselves, and they hate saying things that you can see on the listing. So just make sure, I don't know if you upload these pictures before or after, you asked him, but just keep that in mind. Okay. All right. Let's call him. Let's call him. It's been on here for 19 days, 14 saves. Not too bad. All right. It looks like it needs a lot of work. This does look like a very small town. I don't expect this to be a home run. All right, cool.
The subscriber you are trying to reach is not available. Please leave your...
Let's try calling one more time. They have this listed for $175. There's actually a good amount of comps here. A lot of cash comps, actually. Let me call them back one more time, see if they pick up the phone.
The subscriber you are trying to reach is not available. Please leave your message after the tone.
All right, so they didn't answer. They're asking 175. I guess they own it free and clear. There's a cash comp for 169 right across the street. All right, that's really good. Let's click on the details on this one. And no, that was not an investor. It looks like an Airbnb, actually. Kind of. It's a little bit hard to tell, but take a look at this right here. So it's like a short-term rental. They really did some stuff here to it. All right. Anyways, they didn't answer, but seems like there's actually a good amount of comps in the area, so that's good. All right, let's go to the questions here. Private chat. Let's see. Do you JV on land? Yes. How much is my JV cut? Depends if it's a contract or a lead. So if you guys send me, contract, you'll get majority. If you send me a lead and, you need help getting under contract, then we got to do transaction coordination and then dispo and all that stuff. It's usually 50-50. If you send me just a name and address, it's going to be majority of me, but that's all negotiable. And if you bring me a contract, it also depends, a big thing for me is what price do you have it at, right? If you have a property under contract for $100,000, you're marketing it for $105,000, that may not be worth, there's just not enough spread there to do a joint venture. What states do I JV in? Nationwide. Nationwide. We JV nationwide. We actually closed on that property in Tennessee, the 20K deal. And then I think we closed on another one yesterday, actually. That one was in Tulsa. We got to check on the status on that. Awesome. Cool. If you guys want to see any specific videos, let me know in the comments. I like hearing your feedback. If you feel like you'd want to know a little bit more specific topic or maybe something along the acquisitions process, let me know in the comments. Other than that, guys, have a great weekend. That's it for today. I will see you on the next time. If you're in the community, just shoot me a message. I'll see you probably tomorrow. All right. Have a great weekend, guys. Go crush it. Go make